This pandemic game online is just like the board game we bought at Kohl's.
It all started with a sniffle. And now we've got a global pandemic on our hands. Unbelievable. We've assembled the best team for humanity's last hope.
This is an introduction to the board
She's
game.
the brightest there is. An expert at everything under 40 times magnification.
These are based on the characters in the game.
This guy is the eyes and ears of the whole operation. He sees everything.
This is like one of the examples of the
If the virus
character.
tries to spread, it has to go through this woman first.
The specialist, quarantine specialist.
Front line of the battle, the last line of defense. I'm not gonna lie to you. Humankind is on the brink of extinction, and it's up to your team. No pressure. Use the unique abilities of each team member and find a cure before it's too late. Can you save humanity?
Yeah, this is the digital version of the board game we bought at Kohl's. I just thought you could see how it would feel like to be in the, or what it would be like to play the game, the board game that we bought at Kohl's. Because this is the exact same thing, but a digital version. You know, kind of like the Xbox Monopoly. Well, this is the Xbox version of the pandemic board game that we bought at Kohl's. But, you know, where a lot of moves are done for you. You press this and press that, and the computer takes over to do the rest, like the Monopoly we play on Xbox or the Sega Genesis or whatever, but mainly the Xbox. I can start off with 2 epidemics, 3 epidemics, 4 epidemics, 5 epidemics, 6 epidemics, or 7 epidemics. I can choose of the challenges none or virulent strain. On events, I can choose game base only, include pandemic on the brink, or game base only. I'm going to choose training so I can get an idea of how the game is played. And here we go. The first step is learning the game. Learning the game. A guided experience for newcomers. 2 characters, no event card. Welcome to Pandemic. Your first game, the settings will be suitable for new players. With your team, save humanity from 4 deadly epidemics. Your goal, find the 4 cures. 4 deadly diseases are spreading around the world. The situation is critical in Bangkok, Radala, and Lagos. Serious cases also appear in London, Chicago, and Taipei. Diseases have been reported in Seoul, Korea, Cairo, Egypt, and Bogota. Find a cure to each of these 4 diseases quickly. And you got a scientist and a researcher. 41 cards. New turn. Tip. Move to treat cities that are infected by disease cubes. So I guess what I'm supposed to do is move my marker. Where you see where it says move right there in the bottom row, it's highlighted in bright white where it says move next to the scientist lady that looks like she's got a clear phone, which is really a clear pad of figuring things out. But anyway, I gotta click on that marker to move to an infected area. Well, as you can see in that kind of teal blue box where it says treat disease cubes to prevent the spread, treat the first disease cube, treat the second disease cube, treat the third cube. And then up there at the top in that kind of, I don't know, weird rectangle box with, I don't know, like triangle corners or arrowed corners. Over at the very top left it says 42. Well, that's 42, I guess, cards of some sort that I choose from. Not sure how that works yet. Find out later. And then next to then there's a blank spot next to the 42, which is probably the discard pile. And then next to that, it looks like some sort of green area, which I'm guessing is the discard for the 9 cards, the infection cards or something. So there's 2 stacks of cards. And then over to the right is 4 different diseases. You got 20 yellow diseases, 20 gray diseases, 18 red diseases, and 20 blue diseases or infections or whatever they said it was a while ago. You have, some of them are diseases, some of them are infections, some of them are outbreaks, and I don't, like that. And right now I have to move. It seems I have to move, and I've only got 4 actions, so I gotta choose carefully. So I gotta do 3 out of the 4, treat 3 different diseases out of those 4 actions that I've got to move in. So let's see what happens. I'm going to click on move, and when I clicked on move, as you can see, almost right in the center of the map, like kind of in the middle of the United States, it looks like where the center of disease and control is in Atlanta, Georgia. That's where the scientists and researcher are, it looks like. And of course the CDC is also, ironically, that's where everything is, the vaccinations are created, and the diseases are looked at, like the COVID-19 pandemic and other diseases, for whatever reason, are brought to Atlanta to be determined about what disease they are and everything, and how infectious they are, and how to cure whatever disease, like the COVID-19 pandemic. But this game is based on past diseases and such, and so we're gonna figure it out. Like in The Walking Dead, when The Walking Dead went to Atlanta and there was nobody left alive, and they got locked in and blah blah. You know what I'm talking about. It was all like that. But here we go. We're gonna move to one of these places. So, as you can see, over in the very left column, under the scientist and the woman, her picture, and the scientist, you can see two flashing cities, Delhi, India, and Tehran. I moved my marker to those, evidently to those places, and as you can see, they're kind of in the middle. It looks like a green dot, and it says 1 out of 4 or 1/4, but it's really 1 out of 4, and it's got a left white arrow and a right white arrow. Well, evidently that's my first out of 4 moves. So let's see what happens when I do that. Well, as you can see, something happened, and when I made that move, it looks like it did 3 out of 4 actions when I did that. So now it looks like I make another move or treat or something. See, even with this tutorial, I can't understand it really. Okay, now I did all my moves. So in a way, this is kind of like Risk, where you make your moves, but you've only got so many actions to do. But at the same time, you got to get a check mark for those 3 things, and it says that I had to finish my move, and I cannot treat any of those 4 cities that I made my move. So even with this tutorial, it's still kind of tricky to figure out. So the only option I have is to finish my move, my turn or whatever. And as you can see, it took 2 cards. Okay, now a new turn. Move to the worst hit cities to treat disease and avoid outbreaks. Okay, as you see, I've only got 4 actions to do this. It said move to the worst ones, which I'm guessing see, even with this tutorial, I can't exactly figure what they mean by moving to the worst ones. And but yet not being able to treat them or something. Well, I'm not. It looks like this will take 3 of my 4 actions, and I'm not sure if you can tell, but there's one yellow cube moving around Bogota, and I'm gonna make that move. It's kind of confusing because it's partly doesn't make sense of anything. And I'm gonna treat. Well, hang on a minute. I gotta figure this out. I kinda think I've figured it out, or I am figuring it out, that you have to get to one of the cubes by the 4 actions. So in order to get to that yellow cube, which I was not able to treat that yellow cube that says Bogota, which I'm not sure if you can see it, but it kind of looks like it has those 4 white light beams coming from it. Well, that was my last action, and I was not able to treat that area because I used up all my actions moving to that location. So I think I'm understanding how this game works, that you have to find a route. You have to find a route that will take you to that area like Bogota, where I just stated, with the 4 shiny lights coming from it. And you have to find the route in 4 moves, including, well, you have to find your route in 3 moves, or 2 moves, so when you get to that area, you can treat that area in one of your 4 actions. So 3 moves might take you there, or 2 moves might take you there, and then you can push the treat button, and then of course then you hit finish or whatever, which unfortunately I was not able to treat anything because I used all my moves moving to the location. But maybe my next term I'll be able to treat that location if it doesn't move on me. But as this tutorial is going, I will find out more about how this game goes. So when we play the board game version, where you lay out all the pieces, blah blah blah, yada yada. But I'm doing this digitally, so I can get more of an idea when I read the instructions and everything. So right now, I'm gonna finish my move. And it says draw, and it drew 2 more cards. And it's inspecting zones, I think it said. A new turn. Move to treat cities that are infected by disease cubes. So basically every turn you move to treat the cities that are infected by disease cubes, which like I said before, you have to move to the infected area in one of your 4 turns without using all 4 turns. So you can treat that area, and then the second cube treat that area. So basically, we'll see where I'm at now. I can move over here to treat this type A area. So I can treat this type A area on my first action. So I moved it over to treat, and I'm going to treat the type A area where you see right in the middle where right here where this woman is. I can treat that area type A because it's got 2 cubes, so that will probably be 2 of my 4 actions, possibly. I'm not saying, so I'm still learning this tutorial thing. So it's gonna be 2 of my 4 actions, so I'm gonna push treat and see what happens. And as you can see, the first one was checked off, treat the first disease cube, and the teal green box, or the green box, whatever, where it says treat disease cubes, prevent the spread. Okay, and so now I can probably push treat, move my cursor to treat, and treat that second cube, and that will take care of another action. So that'll take care of the second cube. At least I'm guessing, if I'm catching on to this game right, that'll be the second cube. Yep, as you see, that second check mark, treat the second cube. So now I have to move my marker in some form or fashion, and to Bangkok. As you can see right here, Bangkok, it has 3 cubes, but as you can see, I've only got 2 out of 4 actions left. So now I've got to see what's the best route to get to Bangkok, or another area like that has a cube in it, whether it's red cube or black or blue or yellow. I'm gonna figure it out, and I'll get back with you. As you can see, at least I think by making my move, I think that it means that the one of 2 actions means I can move the marker to Los Angeles, and that might be one of the 2 out of, or that could be the 3 out of the 4 moves left, and then I can hit the treat button, and that would be 4 of the 4 moves left, or all 4 moves, and then I'll have all 3 checked off. Let's find out. Yes, that's what happened. So now that I moved to Los Angeles, I can now treat Los Angeles because it has 1 cube. Well, it can have more than 1 cube, but since I have 1 action left, I'm going to move my marker to treat. I'm going to move it to treat, and then I'm going to hit the treat button, and that should check off all of my checklists. As you see, it checked them all off, and now a new thing pops up that says combine all your knowledge in a single hand Move all your team members to the same city. Share a city card with a scientist. Collect 4 cards of the same color in her hand. Now, I'm not exactly sure how that works. So I'll get back with you on that. But as you can see, the last first I have to finish. I have to push finish because I used up all 4 of I have to go to finish because I used up all 4 of my actions, moving and treating, and then that next thing popped up about combine all your knowledge in a single hand cell, but I had to finish my turn with the scientist. The scientist is done with her turn, so I gotta push finish. Now the cards come out, infected city cards, and now I am up to 15 infected cities. Okay, now a new turn is the researcher this time. You will need to collect 5 city cards of the same color to find a cure. Okay, now I gotta find 5 city cards of the same color to find a cure. You know, like 5 yellows, 5 reds, 5 blues, 5 blacks, you know, like that. At least that's what I'm getting out of it. So I have to move my researcher to 5 colors. At least that's what I'm guessing, that you have to move my team to the same city, share a city card with the scientist, collect 4 cards of the same color in her hand. Okay. Oh, I see. See well, I don't know if you can see them, but right here, you see these cards, it says like New York, Paris, Lima, Algiers, Baghdad, Ho Chi Minh City, I think that's what it's referring to, the share a card with the scientist, collect 4 cards of the same color in her hand, blah blah yada. That, I think that's what it means. So I'm not sure how that's gonna work. Other than figuring this thing out to see what it means. So I'll get back with you on that. And we'll see how I either get it or mess up. Okay, as you see, I moved. Well, I have not moved yet, but I am making a move to Los Angeles, to where the scientist is, because one of the things says move all your team members to the same city. So I moved the researcher to the same city as the scientist in Los Angeles. And as you can see, the Lima card has popped up as being a yellow card, which I'm guessing the scientist might have yellow cards in her, yellow cards by moving to Los Angeles. So I guess we'll see how that works out. But as you can see, that takes up 2 of my 4 actions. Okay, as you can see, the check mark is marked off. Move your team members to the same city. Okay, now, share a city with the scientist, which I guess I think I'm understanding that I move this marker over here to this card pile where it says share, and I click on share to share a city card with the scientist. Okay, now the cards popped up. As you can see, the cards popped up. Well, the first one says New York and Paris. Well, hang on, I'm having trouble with the moving of the cards or whatever. Hang on. As you can see, I have chosen Algiers, but it seems like New York is still lit up bright blue for some reason. So I'm not sure if that's giving me a hint that New York is still, the New York card is still lit up bright blue. See how New York's lit up bright blue, and then Paris is, I guess, but I don't understand if New York is still lit up bright, in the bright blue, then when I move it to Paris in bright blue. But yet, I'm just trying to figure how this is, because I noticed that in Algiers, which you can see Algiers here on the map, it has a cube around it. So that's why I'm thinking if I share Algiers with her, I just wonder if that's what it means, or because New York, it doesn't have cubes, but yet it's kind of lit up. And of course, Paris, France, I know you can't see it too well, but it says London, and then, well, Paris, France is kind of right there. You can't hardly see it because it's underneath that sign, but anyway, I'm gonna do that and see what happens. Oh, I see. Now Algiers is all lit up. So I'm gonna pick Algiers. Okay, I don't understand how that works. Give me a second, let me figure this out. Okay, I see that once you pick the card you want to share with, you highlight this check mark. Well, you have to move it over to the check mark and highlight the check mark. And then once you click on the check mark, which we're going to do now, and see what happens. Okay, that's what happened. I shared my card with the scientist, and my Algiers card, the researcher had the Algiers card in her hand, and now the scientist has the Algiers card in her hand. So now I think I understand now. You see how the scientist had one blue one and I had two blue ones? Well, she could have had 3 blue ones, but maybe I can give her Baghdad too, and that way she'll have 3 Algiers. 3 black ones. So I got one more action to make. So I'm gonna share one more time by moving over to the share spot, which it's already in, and I'm gonna click on the share. And now I'm gonna click on Baghdad. And now, as you can see, the scientist now has Algiers, Baghdad, and Mumbai, 3. And as you can see over here, the second one is checked off, share a city card with the scientist, but it says collect 4 cards of the same color in her hand. So unfortunately, neither one of us had enough for 4 cards. Even if I gave her the blue ones, she would only have 3 blue ones, and the scientist doesn't have any red ones, and I don't have any yellow ones. So that's it for that turn. So we go back over here and we click finish because we used up all the turns. So unfortunately we can't check off that 3rd one because we didn't have 4 cards, so we had to finish this turn. So I have to finish this turn. So I click and finish this turn. And the cards are drawing 2 more infected cards. As you can see, now I'm up to 17 cities. I think I started off with like 9 cities infected, and now I'm up to 17 cities infected. Now my new turn is back to the scientist. You have to bring your 5 city cards to a research station in order to find a cure. So I don't know. As you can see, I think I am pretty sure I've got the hang of this game now. So when we go to play the board game, I will have a understanding as to how this game works and how to move this to that. And you have to do each thing, and you have to do it in 4 actions. So you have to plan your moves. You have to strategically plan out your moves to see where you can move and do the check marks in those 4 moves. You can see I still got one that isn't checked off. Collect 4 cards of the same color in her hand. So as you can see, now the researcher has 4 blue ones, and the scientist has 1 blue one. So if I was to have the scientist share St. Petersburg with the researcher will have 4 blue cards, which in turn should check off this over here that says collect 4 cards of the same color in her hand. So that will check off that box. So I guess we can go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and do that. Well, I was mistaken. It's it's still the researcher, but even though it's on the scientist turn, the researcher is sharing what she has with the scientist. So being that I have all four moves or turns or actions, being that I have 0 out of 4 actions, I can use 3 of those 4 actions by giving the scientist 3 of these, all 3 blue cards, and that way the scientist will have 4 of the same color, which that will check off that collect 4 cards of the same color. So we will do that. Well, as you can see, that worked, and I still got one more action to do, because all 3 of those were checked off. Now we got a new quest to do. It says find a cure, take your knowledge to a research station, develop the cure using your combined cards. Okay, now we gotta take these 4 blue cards: Madrid, New York, Paris, St. Petersburg. Madrid, Spain; New York City, New York; Paris, France; St. Petersburg, Russia. In case you're wondering. Now we gotta take them to a research station, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, research stations like the one in Atlanta are the ones with a white looking house. It looks like a white house, it's all white. No Washington DC presidential White House, pun intended, but it has to be one of those like Atlanta research station. At least I think that's what a research station means or looks like. So other than that, I don't see anywhere else on the map that has a research station. There's nowhere else on the map that has a research station that I can think of. Except Atlanta. So I'm going to see how that works. Sorry, the battery was dying, and I'm not sure where I left off, but I think I said I have to find out the last action, like take my knowledge to a research station, which would probably be the last move. I think I kind of figured it out about taking my knowledge to a research station. Well, like I said, the only research station I know of is in Atlanta, Georgia, but as the way it seems, the way this game is that the only route, well, with the only one action I got left, the only route I can take for now is to go to Mexico City, Mexico, and then it looks like I can then go to either Miami and then to Atlanta, or Chicago and Atlanta, but I'm not, that's just a logical guess for now. It's not a fact as that's the route, but for now I've only got one action left, and so I'm gonna use that and use my last action to move there, just as a hunch that it might go from Mexico City to Miami, then up to Atlanta, or from Mexico City to Chicago, then Atlanta, or I don't know. I'm learning this game as I go. Okay, it says finish your turn or cancel your last quest, so I have to finish my turn because I used up all 4 of my actions. And now the cards are going to draw 2 more. And it said, and as you can see, the scientist has too many cards in their hand, which I guess you can only have up to 8 cards. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so not sure which ones to give up. But I have to discard some cards. Well, this game is almost like Monopoly, where you have to check things off, and if you can't, then, or whether you do or don't, whether you take them all off or not, you still get cards. And if you don't get rid of all your cards on that move, like the last move, we wasn't able to take our knowledge to a research station. We only had that one action or move left, and so that drew us more cards. So now we got to discard because the scientist has too many cards. However, we do not want to get rid of the blue ones, because we want all 4 of those blue ones to take the knowledge to a research station and develop a cure using the combined cards. So we do not want to get rid of the 4 blue ones, but we don't want to get rid of the black ones, or gray, or well, probably black, because we got 3 of those. So in case we need 4 cards or 5 cards, we got, so I guess we'll get one of the red ones, either Jakarta or Osaka, Japan. My bad, I forgot it said discard 2 cards, so I am discarding the 2 red cards. Jakarta, which is kind of wherever in below China somewhere, and Osaka, Japan, which, by the way, I don't know if you can see it, but this is not a reference to the game, but to your nail technician or whatever. It says she was from Vietnam. Well, there's Vietnam, kinda, but right in that area is Vietnam, where it says Ho Chi Minh City. That's Vietnam, I'm pretty sure, because that's Manila, that's the Philippines, and Bangkok, that's kind of India, and Hong Kong, that's China. Taipei, that's, well, China owns it, and then Shanghai, that's China. Beijing, China, that's Seoul, Korea. Tokyo, Japan, where they just had the Olympics, Summer Olympics, and then Osaka, Japan. But anyway, that was kind of a non-game reference. But anyway, I'm getting rid, back to the game though, I'm getting rid of the 2 red cards, because it says to get rid of the 2 red cards, or I have to discard 2 cards, so I'm getting rid of the 2 red cards. Well, what you didn't see is that when I got rid of those 2 red cards, they turned into infected cities or something of that sort of thing. And now it's the researchers' turn. You can go to an existing research station like Atlanta, or build a new one. So I can go to a research station like Atlanta, or build a new one. That's interesting. I'm not sure where to build a new one at though. Well, let's see what happens. This is kind of a new play in the game. I got 4 actions, so I can. Oh, well, see, I can still take my knowledge to research, but since it's the researcher's turn, she's gonna use her 4 moves to Atlanta or something like that, or build a new station somewhere. So I don't know, Peggy. I guess you're getting the gist of the game. I know I am. So when we do play the board game and read the rules and everything, I pretty much know how this game goes now through this tutorial, and I believe that with this video and reading the instructions, which I understand this video was it's going on 51 minutes long, and I just thought maybe you could look at this video on the way down to Florida and get an idea of how to play that game, if we decide to play it. I'm making this video just if we decide to play it. I just found it a coincidence that we found this game, or that I found it online through Xbox, so it's in a way the Xbox version of the board game. As a matter of fact, it says Pandemic the board game. It's exactly the same as the board game we bought at Kohl's. So I don't know. It's kind of a combination between Monopoly and Risk, where you got to make your moves and try to take out or do certain tasks, and if you don't get them done, then you get more infections in cities and such and whatever, and now we have to find a cure from those. But I can't do that until the scientist, again, to take my knowledge to a research station. Those 4 blue cards: Madrid, Spain; New York, Paris, France; and St. Petersburg, Russia. No, not St. Petersburg, Florida, Peggy. St. Petersburg, Russia. But we can't check off any of those until the scientist. So for now, we'll just do the researcher and go to Atlanta, or find somewhere to build a new research station. But in the meantime, I hope you have an idea of how to play this game, as I have learned myself through this tutorial. I know I've pretty much gotten the hang of how to play it, kind of like Risk. I know I said it might be like Monopoly, but it's kind of like Risk in a way. But we'll see how we can do the board game. Maybe now that we have an understanding of how that board game we bought at Kohl's is exactly like this one. We now have an understanding of how to play it, how the turns go, and what to do, and how to strategically make moves, logical moves, and such like that. So I'm probably going to end this video after this turn, or the scientist's turn, once we find a cure, and then we'll have an idea of how to play the game. As you can see, it is now on the scientist, and it says I can use 2 of my 4 actions to take my knowledge to a research station, and 2 of my 4 moves will take my research to the Atlanta research station. And then I think I'll be able to use 1 or 2 of my other actions to develop the cure. Let's find out. As predicted, that checked off, take your knowledge to a research station. So now we're going to find a cure. So we're gonna move our marker down here, down here, and we're gonna move our marker to where it says cure. As you can see, it says cure. So you move the marker where it says cure. Now on the board game, it might be kind of the same way. You move to cure, and make your moves, treat, cure, build, share, event, or undo, pass. You can pass your turn. Okay, but we're going to click on cure to get this checked off, develop the cure. So we're going to click cure. And as you can see, it says disease cleared. And now, as you can see, we have found a cure for the blue disease. All right. So now we got to find a cure for the red disease, black disease, and yellow disease. So we got 1 out of 4 cures found. So now that's pretty much how the game works, I guess you could say, is you do all those turns and everything, and of course when you're done with each turn, you move the marker where it says finish or pass. Well, I can use 1 more action to move, so I'm going to use that last action to move to probably, it looks like the closest might be the yellow section in Miami. How ironic. We're going to Florida, Peggy. We're going to Florida to find a cure. It's kind of funny in a way. We'll be going to Florida, and it says Miami to find a cure, but it's kind of funny. We're finding our cure of all this chaotic stuff. We're finding our cure in Destin, Florida. But it's just ironic how my last action move might be to Miami. We'll find out and see. Well, as you can see, that 1 action left did allow me to go to Miami. How ironic. And it also has a cube on it. So that will be 1 of the cubes to find a cure for the yellow disease. So I think I'm going to finish this move and probably end this video of this tutorial, not just for me but for you as well, for both of us, and to get better knowledge of how to play the game. Finish my turn. Draw cards. Infect cities. Now we got 24 infected cities. Well, as you can see, Peggy, that's how the game is played. I think I'm gonna end this video now because it's the researcher's turn, and her 4 actions are like the scientists, just, you know, go to all the yellow infected cities with the cubes and all that. So I'm ending the video, and I hope that you have an understanding of how to play the board game, just like I've gained an understanding of how to play the board game. We will still read the instructions, you know, we'll still figure things out if we do decide to play the board game at some point. If we're not too anxious and tired and wanting to watch TV or whatever, or I don't know, God forbid if it rains, but we pray that it won't rain at any of our days, but you know, or if we just go out to eat and then come back and play the game, or you know, whatever. I'm not trying to make this video to say we have to play the game. That ain't what I'm saying. I'm just giving you, I just thought it was so awesome and neat to find this game, this game that's an Xbox version, a digital version, kind of like Monopoly and Risk on Xbox. Well, bye for now. I love you.